Vegas odds on who has the worst odds to start off to who has the best odds. So we will talk some Vanderbilt football coming up in hour number 2. Chris Lee from VandySports.com. He'll be kind enough to join us. Incidentally, this is one of the opponents this year for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So see what happens there under year 2 under their administration up there in the Music City. Also coming up on the program, you certainly heard it right here on this very radio station. And what a comeback. Was it a comeback or a meltdown?
Johnson ready. This place is set to erupt. The 1-2 pitch. Off speed, swing and a miss. He got him. And the last team in is the last team standing. Ole Miss, their first baseball national championship and the first national title in any men's team sport in school history. Ole Miss wins it 4-2. They sweep the Men's College World Series Championship Series.
So the only game that Ole Miss loses was a game against Arkansas. So congratulations there to the Black Bear Land Shark Rebels as they are winners of the College World Series. Did you watch any of it, Wes?
Yeah, I watched a little bit. The first game, not the second game.
Oh, boy. You caught the whooping stick.
Yeah, it was 4-2 at the end. Oklahoma.
No, the first game. This is game 2.
Right. The first
game was 10-3, 10-2, something like that.
Then I saw a little bit of the second game, which I thought was the first game. I mean, because at one time Oklahoma had the bases juiced.
Yeah,
and then they walked one in.
Yeah.
And then he struck him out. But that wasn't –
a pair of wild pitches in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
Proved to be the difference.
But congratulations to Ole Miss. Hotty toddy, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Happy for them. Mississippi State won it last year. Ole Miss won it this year. I think Vanderbilt won it the year before. Had
19, that's right.
Had LSU. They were playing LSU for the title. Was that right?
That sounds right.
I mean, and you look at, Tennessee ends up with the SEC title. Florida was the runner-up in the tournament. And then Ole Miss, which is, I didn't think they'd do anything. I mean, didn't Alabama sweep Ole Miss not long before they got in the tournament?
I'm going to have to look that up. I cannot recall right off the top of my head.
No, I mean, there's a lot of people talking about today just how the East won the conference, but the West had so many teams. I mean, anyway, just unbelievable. I mean, obviously Auburn, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M all got in from one side of the conference into the World Series. That's pretty strong.
Bama did sweep Ole Miss.
Yeah.
It was at Ole Miss.
Yeah, when was it?
April 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah, so, I mean, just anything can happen in baseball when there's Southeastern Conference team. There's so much talent.
So I tweeted out a poll question, which I probably should have done on our Twitter account as much as I hammer a certain talk show host from 10 a.m. to noon who doesn't do this as well. So I tweeted out, who had a better season, Ole Miss or Tennessee? Smokey Mike, I yield the floor to you, sir.
Who won the Natty?
Ole Miss.
That's your answer.
So 13% of these jokers went Tennessee.
God bless America, I swear. But, it's kind of ironic that it's 2 straight years. The team that doesn't even make the weekend in the conference tournament is the team that wins the national championship.
So how did Ole Miss? Who beat Ole Miss in the SEC tournament?
Was it Kentucky? No, Kentucky beat Auburn. Hang on. Trying to bring up the Ole Miss. By the way, I don't know how much you've been following on Twitter, Lane Kiffin and Juice Kiffin, but they're having a whole lot of fun with this national championship.
Vanderbilt was the one.
Ah.
But no, so Lane Kiffin's having fun with the championship?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, good for him. What's
Yeah.
he saying?
Well, I mean, he's just – Juice is taking full credit for this national championship, saying that there were 0 national championships before I showed up on the scene. And Juice is, of course, the Golden Lab.
But didn't they win a national championship as in the 50s in football?
No.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they did. They
No.
were, yeah.
No.
You need to look that up.
No.
This is the very first national championship
Maybe-
for any Ole Miss team sport.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure they did. You need to look it up.
Well, they may have won a UPI or
Well, yeah, UPI.
Well, I don't-
that's
I don't-
something.
no,
yeah,
I don't mean
that
a-
counts. A UPI.
Pardon me for saying something that was legitimate back in the day. A People's National Championship.
No, I don't think it was the People's National Championship when you're the Ole Miss Rebels. in
No,
the
they
60s.
have not won a football national championship.
I think you're wrong about that.
The only reason I know for certain about this is because this happened about 2 weeks ago on the Feinbaum program, where Paul thought that Vaught had won one, and then they looked it up, and Paul said, I was wrong. Ole Miss has not won a national championship. So that's the only reason the Feinbaum program went there about 2 weeks ago.
Well, we know Paul's never been wrong.
Well, no, I think they claim 3.
Okay.
They claim
They
3.
claim 3, okay.
But
They claim 3, but
well, who's the one that gave them the 3? Yeah, they don't list 59, 60, and 62. Sagarin is the one that gave them the 59 championship. 1960. Ole Miss has never finished a season number 1 in either the AP or coaches poll.
I knew they claimed 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what those 3 were?
The second one, 1960, was the Grantland Rice Trophy.
Which used to be the big trophy at one time.
Was it?
Yes. You know where Grantland Rice is from?
No, I don't.
What city's Middle Tennessee in?
Murfreesboro?
Murfreesboro. Grantland Rice was one of the most famous writers in the history of the AP.
But the AP didn't. The AP had a separate.
Yeah, but the Grantland Rice used to be the trophy. That was like the ball at one time.
So in 62, Ole Miss went undefeated.
That's what I thought.
And Ole Miss was ranked number 3 in the final AP and UPI coaches poll. Sagarin, as well as the Billingsley report, declared Ole Miss national champions in 1962. Are we good?
Sounds like I'm right again.
No.
No. AP and coaches. UPI, not.
Man, the Grantland Rice used to be the main trophy.
But the Grantland Rice was the FWAA, right?
When did the UPI start even giving national championships?
I didn't realize that we were going to have a pop quiz to start out the show today.
Well, I mean, heck, we're talking about it. You're saying they don't have it unequivocally. Now we got where they claim 3.
Yeah, they
and then
yeah,
Grantland Rice was.
They've always claimed 3.
It was a.
But not by the UPI or the AP.
But by Grantland Rice, which used to be the best trophy to get at one time. Look it up.
That would be the 60 national championship that the Ole Miss has claimed they get the Grantland Rice, but that was after the national champion from the AP and the coaches, Minnesota, lost in the Rose Bowl while Ole Miss won the Sugar Bowl.
Were they undefeated that year?
One tie.
One tie.
Who'd they tie?
LSU,
which used to be the game. That was the big game back in the 50s and 60s. Auburn won it in 57. Did we give credit for Auburn get that one? They got the AP, I think.
Yeah, they got the AP that year.
Yeah. Was the UPI even around that year?
Yes, they were.
But they didn't because they were on probation. Is the reason they didn't get the UPI if I remember that correctly. 58 were the LSU. See, all this SEC thing happened before in the 50s and early 60s. All this dominance in football happened then also, where Ole Miss, give or take, if they won one, LSU won one, Auburn won one, Alabama won one. We're saying Ole Miss in there somewhere.
61 is.
You can say they were
Bama.
vying. Yeah, of course. And then Arkansas, who's now part of the conference, was in there also, fighting for them. So it was a interesting time.
As dominant back then as it is now, arguably. I mean, if you think about this run of Georgia, Bama, Auburn, Florida, LSU during this time frame.
Well, yeah, it was going on just like now. I mean, Alabama won in 61, 64, and 65, went undefeated in 66, but they were playing. They were all amongst it all the rest of the years. It's not like they were going away. In the same time frame, LSU was good. Arkansas was good. Of course, Arkansas went in the conference then. Ole Miss was good. So, I mean, there were a lot of good teams.
So I mentioned what we've got coming up in hour number 2. Your odds, incidentally, to win the Southeastern Conference is led by Bama, so they are going to be the last team as we preview the previews coming up here over the next couple of weeks. But our first team that we are going to preview is the Vanderbilt Commodore. They are at a plus 50,000 to win the Southeastern Conference. Right above them, the Missouri Tigers at a plus 25,000. Mississippi State is at a plus 10,000. Then at a plus 8,000 are the Auburn Tigers and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Always intrigued with teams that have the same odds just to kind of see how they stack up, how comparable maybe they stack up. At a plus 5,000 is Arkansas and LSU. At a plus 4,500 is the Tennessee Volunteers. Right ahead of them at a plus 4,000 are the Florida Gators. The Ole Miss Rebels check in at a plus 3,300. Then the Kentucky Wildcats at a plus 2,800. And now we get into less than 1,000 with Texas A&M at a plus 900, Georgia at a plus 160, and Bama at a minus 115. So those are the odds we are using. That I'm using from Vegas. That was updated last week. As I always try to do this a couple of weeks out to preview our previews that we get at SEC Media Days.
So what is the I was trying to follow this news about Florida and some lawyer, and and they're
It's a weird story.
And Florida's collective, which is a joke.
Yeah.
Schools don't need collectives, but that's what they have.
So there's also been some further reporting, and evidently there are some state laws in the state of Florida that are making it a little bit more difficult in the state of Florida, to the point where I'm starting to read more and more articles that if it weren't for collectives, that the state of Florida, all the programs in the state of Florida, would have some serious problems. So there is no doubt that they will try to rectify said situation. But yeah, I read this. There was also a report about all of a sudden that Florida guy down in Gainesville already being in jeopardy, which does not make any sense to me whatsoever, as Billy Napier has yet to coach game 1.
Oh, I hate it when I'm right.
But those Florida fans, I mean, all of a sudden they're not giving any staff any time.
No. Well, they think they have a better deal than they really do. I mean, they really do.
Did the old ball coach spoil them to the
Yeah.
point where there's just like a God-given right?
Yeah, but just wait. What's
Death
about to happen?
taxes and Florida and the SEC
Yeah.
championship
I
game.
just hope that the Alabama fans don't fall the same trap.
But haven't they already?
How
Post Bear Bryant?
Oh yeah, but I think they were pulling in the wrong directions, but that don't mean it can't happen again. You know, Coach Saban was able to bring everybody together, and that's why it's a machine when it's together, and when it's pulling in opposite directions, it doesn't have a prayer like the rest of them. So it'll take somebody strong, I think, when you come in, really strong, to keep everybody together. And then you're going to have, just the guy loses 3 games, the next coach, it's going to be a meltdown by a lot of people, because Coach Saban has made a lot of these people smart. They confuse brains with a bull market, right? They think they know what's good for Alabama. Coach Saban just needs to call them to ask him. So, heck, I'm one of them. They make a lot of people smart when you predict them to win every week, and they do.
Well, there's many people predicting Bama to go undefeated this year, of which
Alabama,
you have said
it's
no.
hard to do. I mean, I didn't think they'd do it last year, and I was right. I didn't think they'd do it the year before, and they did it.
Mm-hmm.
In the
2020 was a special year.
And really,
in all SEC season.
Really, only one team made it a game. That was Florida.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody else just got monkey stomped. So, it was bad, mud stomped. It was bad. You look at Alabama this year, the offensive line did not improve last year. And really, you could argue that they were the difference in the game, but they really weren't, because I thought they played well enough to win the second game too. You just got to catch the ball. I mean, Georgia was said, hey, the first time we didn't blitz enough, we're going to blitz as much as we can. And so when they did pick it up, there were people open, they didn't catch the ball. So in my mind, if they catch that ball, Alabama wins that game. So I can't really blame it on the offensive line. However, they lost one, lost 2 or 3 last year, because the offensive line did not play well in the latter part of the year. They did not improve. And that's why the offensive line coach is no longer there. And I'm hoping, because they got some new faces, but they have a tremendous amount of talent, that they can get better at the offensive line. If they get better on the offensive line, this team will be very, very. I mean, they have no holes. The holes are the offensive line, and they have 5 guys on there that could start for anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, can they play together as a team? You can have 5 great individuals and never be a great offensive line. It happens all the time. That's why there you go.
If you'd like to participate, you can certainly do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline at 256-576-4977. Coming up later on here in hour number 1, again, this is one of those interviews that is going to age all of us, as I called some of his games at Athens High School. He is now the head football coach for St. Michael Catholic. The head football coach there, Coach Philip Rivers, is going to join us later on here in hour number 1. But your phone calls are welcome next as we take our first time out and just out of the docks here on a Monday.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Atlanta Braves are battling through the hot weather and big road trips as they look to push for a 4th straight division crown.
Next pitch to Riley. Swung on, hammered to deep center. Hey, the man! Home run!
Tomorrow night, the Braves take the battle for the National League East on the road to Philadelphia as they square off against Bryce Harper and the Phillies. Braves Radio's on the air at 5:50 Eastern, 4:50 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
2 Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. 2 Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at 2maidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. 2 Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F1. We interrupt this message to announce our $1,000 appreciation cash reward. Attention all active military, reservists, retirees, and all veterans, plus first responders, police, fire department, EMTs, and medical professionals. An appreciation for making Huntsville the great city it is. You'll receive a $1,000 exclusive reward in addition to any public offers on most all 22 Fords. So please come see us today. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of Jordan and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
This first hour brought to you by the fine folks over at Woody Anderson Ford. You can check them out online at woodyAndersonFord.com. We will be on campus on Wednesday, and rumor has it Bobby White will join us. Rumor has it on Wednesday over at Woody Anderson Ford. So check that out. Coming up later on here in hour number 1. It will be Coach Phillip Rivers, as we'll talk to him about making that transition from putting the football down to blowing the whistle and turning.
I think he went into the Hall of Fame, the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame. Right?
He did. Yeah, Senior Bowl Hall of Fame. Him and Dak Prescott. And let me tell you, if I'm sorry, nothing against Mississippi State fans, but if you ask me right now, which quarterback are you taking? If it's Dak Prescott or Phillip Rivers, that's an easy choice to me.
Phillip Rivers, yeah.
Yeah. But Dak not done with his NFL career. Boy, when I think of the Phillip Rivers career, I think of that playoff game in New England when he had no business being out there and just laid it out all on the line. Unreal. So, also over the weekend, if you'd like to react, 4 hours, I tweeted this out, what was it, 4 hours, where is it, 4 hours and 23 minutes. That's how long the Braves game took last night. Sunday Night Baseball. Oh, my gosh. Up 2-0, top of the ninth, 2 outs. Those Dodgers. Braves go 4-3 on the homestand. Today is an off day.
That's what you said they'd do, right? Didn't you say they'd be 4-3?
No, Abraham said, would you sign up for 4-3 today? And I said, absolutely. But it could have been 5-2, but nonetheless, 4-3. Giants and Dodgers coming to town. The emotion of Freddie Freeman, I don't know if I 100% buy it. It felt a little crocodile-ish, crocodile tears. I mean, the emotion was there from Freddie, but it felt like if it was that important to you to stay in Atlanta, then why didn't you tell your agent? And listen, it was a perfect storm with the lockout going on as well. But, I mean, truly, if it was that important, it is what it is. I really wish Freddie well and certainly gave the Braves his best when he was wearing that uniform for the Atlanta Braves. But now Spencer Strider, wow, that was really impressive last night as he went toe-to-toe with, Goslin, and it was really impressive. Just really impressive to see what Spencer Strider has turned into on the mound. And hopefully he can just maintain that level of consistency as at least I am in holding mode waiting on Mike Soroka. How long has it been? Almost 2 years now for Mike Soroka, paging Mike Soroka. Anybody? And now Ronald Acuna goes down. And Ronald on the K-Rod broadcast, or whatever they call that alternate broadcast on ESPN2 with Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez, fearing that it is more than just a sprain. Great. Just great. But
didn't they win it without him last year?
they did.
Okay.
Eddie Rosario, I believe, is still in AAA on a rehab assignment. He had some vision issues, so hopefully he can bounce back and be his MVP self like he was during the postseason last year. But a decent homestand there for the Braves.
Did you get teary-eyed when?
No, I did not. No,
Well, you know what I'm talking about already.
Freddie Freeman?
Yeah.
No, I did not. No. If it was that important for him to stay as a Brave, then all it takes is a couple of phone calls to Alex Anthopoulos and his agent.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Did Drew have? He didn't have to call? We had to put him on suicide watch, did we? I mean, I bet Drew was just bawling, crying when Freddie Freeman was giving his speech.
You think?
Yeah, y'all were so. You would think that he was either y'all's brother-in-law or y'all wanted to be his brother-in-law. I'm not sure last year. All they could talk about is Freddie Freeman, how they had to keep him.
DeArmond doesn't seem like a crier to me.
I don't know. He whines pretty good sometimes.
Well, I mean, whining is not crying.
That's the next best thing. No, I would think that. You don't think? Did you not hear them? Do they not just whine about the Braves baseball more than anybody you've ever heard?
I thought I've been pretty positive about the Braves.
Braves fans are always whiners.
Okay, thank you.
That's majority of the fan bases that are around this parts.
Really? You think Alabama fans are whiners?
When they lose?
Well, we hadn't had to whine much then.
Yeah, but
we lost last year against Georgia. I thought we took it pretty good.
Do you remember the 3-8 season? Oh my goodness gracious!
I mean, just imagine Hugh Freeze beats Saban twice, and then Bama Bama fans hate Hugh Freeze like anything.
Well, now we won a championship one of those years. That was the only team we lost to.
And now look at it, Jimbo. Look at what's going on with Jimbo right now. The dirt neck.
Dirt neck. Now, I don't agree with all that now. I mean, I've never liked Jimbo, and Steve knows that. I've never respected him. But I don't believe you ought to. Now, the Texas ATM is funny because that's what their helmet says. I mean, so that was really that was brilliant on Drew's part.
Yeah.
That really was brilliant on Drew's part. And you got to give that to Drew. I mean, nobody was saying it before.
I just get these random text messages from Ryan Fowler. What's dirt neck? I don't know.
Well, I think to me, dirt neck is a term of endearment because is the dirt necks. Yeah, because it's the dirt. Not. I don't think Drew's using the word as a term of endearment.
No, absolutely.
But I'm talking about a term of endearment for me because it was people that were willing to work. And from the guys in the oil rigs to the guys doing the paving the roads.
If there's an Urban Dictionary,
I'm already
don't use the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we built this country on the back of the people that were willing to work. So it's a term of endearment.
Well, I'm looking through the multiple definitions of it, and I'm going to go to the one that I think he might be that DeArmond's going to. A dirtbag person who should be shot in the face at least 3 times, then shot again just to embarrass him. Then you should uppercut a dog just in case, just because he opened a window. Originates from the Latin words "dirticus" and "necke," meaning "wow, you're awful," and I can't say that last one.
So he says "dirt neck." Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
That's one of the 8 definitions on Urban Dictionary.
Where is that definition? Where is it?
Maybe
that's Urban Dictionary.
Maybe Drew's more brilliant than I think he is.
Or you could have, someone who's constantly out getting dirty, racing dirt bikes, running races, four-wheeling, etc.
Let's go ahead and take our final time out.
What was that segment?
Phillip Rivers.
How would we list that segment? What was that segment?
That's award-winning right there. Abby award-winning material. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Welcome to Allstate, where we bring it all together. And bundling your home and auto is good, right? And it saves you up to 25%. It all comes together. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Bundled savings discounts will vary by state. Saving up to 25% is a countrywide average of savings off the home policy. Combining the multiple policy discount for having auto insurance with Allstate and the welcome discount savings at enrollment.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Our zone deal this week is truly an award winner. Metro Diner, serving up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest priced mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. This Friday, you can get $50 worth of great Metro Diner food for half price, just $25 with our zone deal. Just log on 977ESPN.com Friday morning at 8 to get yours.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday, expect a few isolated showers still lingering early this morning. We'll see a partly sunny sky by the afternoon. High temperatures topping out in the upper 80s. For your overnight, expect a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures look to be falling into the upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When we say local, we mean local, not Birmingham.
Loser.
We are the only sports talk station in Huntsville. It's all right here. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got a magical glow.
Back here with you on The Drive, along with Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you. We are going to talk some Ole Miss baseball at the top of the hour with Richard Cross from the Ole Miss Radio Network as we head out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Enjoyed watching our next guest play on the high school level over at Athens High School, called a few of those games over there in that rivalry between Athens and Decatur. And he is now head coach as well. Coach Philip Rivers is kind enough to join us. How are you, Coach?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Doing well, thanks.
Well, what's the transition been like for you, Coach?
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. I got to live my dream for 17 years playing in the NFL, and then I always wanted to follow my dad's footsteps and coach high school football, and so now living that second dream. It's been, I feel like in a lot of ways I was comfortable and I knew what was ahead, but then I'm learning stuff every day. Just how the high school games have changed. You got to learn the rules. You got to handle emailing and scheduling with parents and buses and all kind of stuff that is certainly different. So it's fun to wake up and have a new challenge every day, and I'm really enjoying being around our young men, our 15 to 18-year-old boys, and helping, get this program headed in the right direction.
Have you met any parents that know more football than you yet?
Well, no, I don't know. There's certainly some I'm sure think they do. I know that's everywhere, isn't it? That's everywhere. But no, it's been great. Our parents and this, it's a young school, and young program, and they've been awesome, and they're excited. I mean, we won 6 games last year, and just missed the playoffs. Lost the tiebreaker to Williamson. We were both 3-3, but in the region. But so we're excited about kind of taking that next step. It's a heck of a challenge. Football's good in this state, as you well know. Growing up in North Alabama, a lot of good football up there, and then down here it was a little bit of, I just knew the team names, but I didn't know where everybody was. And now being part of it, this Region 1, really 4A for us, but 4A all the way up. I mean, dang, it's good football. So it's a heck of a challenge each and every week. But our school, our families, our boys are excited about it.
How important was it to schedule Athens for you, Coach?
Well, we try to do some type of retreat every year. I say every year. We've done it one year, but it's something we thought would be great to do during training camp. And I say training camp because that's what I was used to calling it for, 17 years. But I wanted to do something where we have some type of retreat, and it's spiritual, and it's team bonding, and it's camaraderie. We have a little fun. We have some football. And last year we did it locally here in town, and it was great. It was great. But we practiced at our field, and then we went to Holy Spirit Hall, which is right here near us in Fairhope. And I thought, man, what if we go away? What if we can go away somewhere? And, we play week 0. We didn't have a regular traditional spring. We have a real regular season. Our first regular season game is week 0 against Gulf Shores. And I was just a little nervous walking into that one without having that, traditional jamboree, and the only way you can do that is not do it in the spring. Well, I started looking around the state of what teams didn't do it last year, which teams played a pre-week 0 game last year, and Athens was one of them. And there wasn't as many down here. There's more teams doing it down here this year. So I called Coach Gross, and I'd gotten to know him and met him years ago, but then visited with him maybe a year or 2 ago, and then he and I spoke on the phone a few times, and I said, Coach, what do you think? What do you think about us playing in Jamboree? We'll come up there to y'all. We'll do our retreat trip on the way and play y'all. And he was all over it. And so it's exciting. We're excited. I'm certainly excited, from a personal standpoint. My brother's excited, but our team's excited. I mean, when you say Athens High School down here, it gets people's attention because of the program that they've run there going back a long way. So we're excited to come up there and play in Jamboree, knowing we'll leave 0-0. But hoping to come up there and play well and get better. More than anything, we know that playing Athens will get us better.
Talking with Coach Philip Rivers right now, the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And, Coach, how much do you still follow the NFL game?
I follow it pretty close. I mean, last year was my first year out, and I really had a special year in Indy, both just building relationships, and it was first time for me being at a different team. So I followed them really close. Coach Reich and Frank Reich, are really close, and a handful of those teammates, although it's only 1 year, I kept in contact with pretty regularly during the season. So pulled for them. Obviously still pull for the Chargers. I have some teammates that I played with that are still there, so I keep a close eye on them. I mean, I think about the Philadelphia Eagles because Nick Sirianni, the head coach, I was with for many years in San Diego, and Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator now, I was with in San Diego. So what I found out now that I'm out is you pull for guys that you played with or coaches that you were with, and Gus Bradley's in Indy now, who I'm close with. Then now Rich Bisaccia, who I was close with, special teams coach who took over in Vegas. Now he goes to Green Bay, so now I'll have contact with him and kind of keep an eye on Green Bay. So I follow pretty close, but I find myself pulling for people. You pull for people and the guys that you have a relationship with, and but I keep a pretty good eye on it. I don't watch it quite the same as I did when I was playing, but we watch it pretty close.
So, from 1 to 10, nervousness, I guess your first NFL start versus 1 to 10 nervousness of your first head coaching experience.
Well, I can tell you I was a complete 10 as my first NFL start. It was Monday Night Football in Oakland. So I think it was September 11th. It may have been 2006.
Yeah.
And I was real nervous for that one. And we threw 11 passes. I think I was 8 for 11 for 105 yards and a touchdown. And we won that game. I think we had 11 sacks, 11 or 12 sacks. But so I think that was definitely a 10. But I tell you what, coaching, the challenge wasn't quite the same this year. We played 1A McIntosh, and so it wasn't quite the same as the Oakland Raiders. But my nervousness was probably up there in the 7-8 range, just because, man, I just had those good butterflies, and being out there on the grass with your team, and my brother, my 2 sons that are ball boys, my wife and daughters in the stands. I look down the goal line, and there's my dad. And Mom's up there in the stands. It was like, wow, 30 years flashed in front of me. 30 years flashed in front of me for being on the sideline at Decatur High and then playing for my dad in Athens. And now we're kind of we're ready to redo it. We're kind of redoing it a generation later. So it's pretty special, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it.
Well, it's funny because you go from all the different things you got to worry about to be a quarterback to hoping you have 11 on the kickoff out there at one time, right? Opening kickoff.
There's no question. I'll tell you this too. How about this? First game, and we do some no huddle stuff. And what I've also found is the crowd noise isn't quite as bad in high school. But we don't have that coach to quarterback. I'm used to having a coach talking to me and just telling me to play. And you obviously don't have that. But so I found myself this year just hollering out there. They can hear me, and the defense doesn't know what's going on. And I just holler the play out there, and we go. And but we had some plays wristbanded. We had a wristband. We had about 20 plays on there. Just they're a little longer calls, so we could just wristband them. And we get to the game, and we're going out to warm up. And the quarterbacks come up to me and say, "Coach, you got those wristbands?" And I said, "No, I ain't got them." I left the wristbands sitting in the coach's office, so I forgot the wristbands for the first game. Thankfully, we didn't need them, but yeah.
Oh, man.
Coach, how many phone calls did you take from NFL teams last year that were looking for someone for a playoff drive?
Well, like I said, I kept in close contact with the Colts, so and nothing ever came to, but I was in close contact with them in case something were to happen. Obviously, you never want to see anybody get hurt, but if Carson had gone down, there was kind of a possibility there just because of the close ties there, and I was just there the previous year. And there was a little chatter with the Saints that never came to. The chatter came a little too late for me, to be honest with you. I was, I know when Jameis went down and they had a stretch there where they lost 4 or 5 in a row, and that would have kind of been the time there. Our season had just ended. You could get there in mid-November and kind of have more of a stretch, but it got to almost Christmas, and then that's when kind of the chatter picked up, and it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. I know you heard some chatter about Drew, potentially coming back there at the end as well, but so it was a little bit. I still feel at peace. I'm done, but I haven't necessarily turned in retirement papers, but I have no inkling or desire to go do it, but I kind of think for me, it helps me stay in a little better shape just knowing what if somebody calls me, what if somebody calls in November or December, it kind of gives you a little bit of something to kind of wet your paddle. So I go out and throw every now and then and try to stay in decent shape just in case something comes up there late fall.
Last year it looked like Carson Wentz was going to step in where you left, and everybody was happy, and then all of a sudden at the end it just – it kind of blew up.
Well, that Jacksonville game in the last game of the season.
So what do you think happened with that deal?
I don't know. obviously not being in the day-to-day operations there, I don't know Carson real well. I think Carson, has obviously dealt with some tough injuries. He obviously was on the road to an MVP season the year they ended up winning the Super Bowl before he got hurt. So I know he's a heck of a player. He's still young, and he's got a lot of ball ahead of him. For whatever reason, it just didn't click, And sometimes that's the way it goes. And but I was happy for him. I know he would have liked to kind of keep it going. He kind of finished what he was brought there to do. But I was happy he landed on his feet there in Washington, kind of gets a fresh start. And I was really excited about them getting Matt Ryan. I just, played against Matt a handful of times, not a lot because he was NFC and I was AFC. But Matt Ryan's a heck of a player. You look at his career stats, and obviously just watch him live. He passed the eye test, obviously, with what he's done over his 14 years now, I guess. And so I thought it was a great get by them, and looking forward to see what Matt can do with that bunch, because they got, with Jonathan Taylor and the defense and that defensive line, or that offensive line, and the belief I have in that coaching staff, I'll be pulling for the Colts, that's for sure.
So you look at in the NFL, and of course quarterbacks are a premium. They're always looking to get a new quarterback. How close is it to? I mean, what's the difference between making it and not making it? You see all these guys go higher than others. You see Mac Jones was like the 6th quarterback taken that year, 5th, and he looks like that last year, I guess, of all the rookie quarterbacks, he had the best year. Is it the system? Is it the quarterback? Or is it both?
Well, I think there's a lot of factors. I think if you're just evaluating the quarterback, I think there's obviously got to be some, foundation of leadership skills and ability to lead and get guys around them to play at a high level and to lead a group of men. So I think that's a quality that the quarterback must have, and everybody does that in their own way. But then from actually playing the position, as far as what I would look at, again, I haven't been on the evaluating side of it. I am now as a coach in some sense at the high school level. But to me, it's how quickly can guys process information? How quickly can they process what they see? I mean, defensively, coverages, blitzes, protection. How quickly can they process all that? A lot of guys can sit in the meeting room and talk football all day long, but when they get out there, it's like tick, tick, tick. Like, guys, we got to go. We got to go fast. And so how quickly can they process? And then are they accurate with the football? Because if you can process it quick, and that means you'll make quick decisions, and then are you accurate? I mean, because if you can't throw the ball accurately, there's some guys that run them wide open, and we see it. You see it every Sunday, you see it every Saturday, you see it every Friday night. They're bad defenses, and there are great offensive players that get wide open, and those are great. But you got to be able to throw the ball accurately into tight spaces and on time. And you mentioned Mac Jones. To me, he was the best one coming out last year. Wasn't even close, in my opinion. So because it's obvious he sees it and he's accurate. He sees it fast, he processes it, he's accurate. But there are a lot of factors. There's some systems that aren't very well. There's some coaches that don't mess with certain quarterbacks because of how they communicate and how they call plays. I mean, there's a lot of factors. And but I think through those factors, if you're good enough, you'll make it. And all that being said, you got to be tough. You got to be tough to play the position mentally and physically, because physically you're going to get hit some. They don't let them hit us like they used to, but mentally you can get ran out of the league real quick. If the media bothers you, if throwing the pick six to lose the game is going to mess you up for the next week. I mean, you can mentally, you got to be tough, physically and mentally tough. But so I could ramble on and on about qualities of what I would look for in a quarterback. And obviously, I'm a little bit biased to the pocket passer just because that's all I know. But I also think that you see these guys, the Josh Allens, even Joe Burrow, and I'm leaving guys out, Mahomes. These guys can stand in there and throw it and run around, and that gives them a whole nother dimension. And I think that's what you're seeing now. But they're harder and harder to evaluate, to me, college quarterbacks are, because of the offenses that they run in college. And you don't see a congested pocket very often. I mean, guys are just standing back there patting the ball and heaving it over across the field 60 yards to a wide open guy in the Big 12. It's like, I don't know. How do you evaluate that? A lot of guys could have made that throw. I don't know. So I gave you a long answer to an easy question.
But
that was a really good answer.
Really good answer.
Finally, Coach, what did you think of Tom Brady unretiring and coming on back for at least one more year?
It's unbelievable what the guy's done. I mean, it really is. I'll say this reluctantly. I was never the quarterback on a team to beat Tom Brady. I was 0 for against Tom. So I mean, just tons of respect for him. I mean, what he's done, and then now doing it against Tampa. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you mentioned, going back to that. The guy can process and he's accurate, and obviously has many other intangibles. But it'll be fun to see him still being out there. It'll be weird when he's gone. I mean, I think for me, when Rodgers and Brady retire, you kind of go, wow, all right, there's the next wave. Here comes the next wave of guys. Obviously they're already playing, but those two are still going. And then you throw in Matt Ryan and Stafford. I mean, those are kind of the next two as far as age-wise. So. I love watching those guys, though. A lot of respect for what they've done, the careers they've had, and glad they're still going. Glad they're still rolling.
Percent chance Gronk stays retired.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked if we don't see Gronk out there this year. I think at some point I could see Gronk. I don't know if it'll be training camp, but I could see Gronk mid-year. All right, here we go. Let's make another run, and he goes mid-year. But I'm not making a prediction, but I can see it. I can see it for sure.
Well, thank you so much for the time, and you've got a lot of supporters up here in North Alabama, and we look forward to seeing you this fall, Coach.
Yeah, I look forward to that. August 12th there in Athens. We're playing at 6 o'clock. And Coach Gross and what he's doing with that program is top notch, first class. And being back there in that stadium will be exciting. Hopefully it'll be a big crowd. I know for our guys it'll be good. We open with Gulf Shores, which is going to be a big crowd on Thursday night the next week, and so it'll be a good experience for us. And then again, personally, in Golden Eagle Stadium.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, see y'all.
That is the head coach of the St. Michael Catholic Cardinals, future Hall of Famer, Philip Rivers.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F1. We interrupt this message to announce our $1,000 appreciation cash reward. Attention all active military, reservists, retirees, and all veterans, plus first responders, police, fire department, EMTs, and medical professionals. An appreciation for making Huntsville the great city it is. You'll receive a $1,000 exclusive reward in addition to any public offers on most all 22 Fords. So please come see us today. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of Jordan and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Kevin Winter. What happens when you want to leave one place, but your list of destinations is short, and none of those teams you want to go to can afford you, nor do they have the assets to acquire you? Well, you ultimately are left with no choice but to stay where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Kyrie Irving. Sources confirming to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski that the Brooklyn Nets material point guard is going to opt in to the final year of his contract with Brooklyn, which is worth $36.5 million because no one wanted him. They did not have a sign-and-trade partner. WNBA star Brittany Griner, she's going to have her trial set to begin Friday in Russia, 4 months after she was arrested for alleged cannabis possession at a Moscow airport. The Phoenix Mercury star was also ordered to remain in custody for the duration of the trial. Several officials and experts familiar with Griner's case tell ESPN's TJ Quinn that a trial and a conviction, regardless of evidence, are always likely. Russia has indicated it is willing to negotiate her release. Championships at Wimbledon opened this morning across the pond. Day one winners, men's side top seed Novak Djokovic, 5 seed Carlos Alcaraz. He went the distance. 10 seed Emma Raducanu, the U.S. Open champion. She had a straight set win today. Coming up tomorrow noon Eastern on ESPN television, Serena Williams returns to the court. Baseball tonight. Red Sox are on the road visiting the Toronto Blue Jays. Meanwhile, the New York Yankees are about to begin at home. The Yanks coming off a walk-off over the weekend and a series split with the Astros. They play host to the Oakland A's.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
A walk-off 3-run home run for Judge.
I don't foresee him signing back with the Yankees unless the Yankees blow him away.
The guys will be back Tuesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Johnson ready. This place is set to erupt. The 1-2 pitch. Off speed, swing and a miss. He got him. And the last team in is the last team standing. Ole Miss, their first baseball national championship and the first national title in any men's team sport in school history. Ole Miss wins it 4-2. They sweep the Men's College World Series Championship Series.
That was the final call from Westwood 1 that you heard right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And I'm not going to lie, as soon as that happened, I immediately thought to DK and the play-by-play voice of the Ole Miss Radio Network, and Richard Cross from the Ole Miss Radio Network is kind enough to join us. What a moment for Ole Miss. How are you, Richard?
Guys, I'm great. I appreciate you having me. Long drive home from Omaha, but it has been a fun day today. Normally you embark on an 11-hour drive, and it's like, not really looking forward to this one, but it's been a nice day to kind of reflect a little bit and try to put into perspective what we saw over the last 9 days. It was an incredible performance for Ole Miss in Omaha. And really, the 2 weeks before that, you heard Kevin Kugler there in the call say, from the last team in to the last team standing, and kind of captures it. This was an Ole Miss team that I think did not expect to hear its name called when the field of 64 was announced, and here they are carrying a trophy off the field at Charles Schwab in Omaha.
It's crazy. Especially in how they won. It just did they win it or did Oklahoma lose it?
Ole Miss won this thing. And look, I know there were a couple of wild pitches at the end of the game, but no, this was dominance in the postseason for Ole Miss. And it really, again, to the point that I was making a second ago, it was dominance for 4 weeks, right? Ole Miss goes to Coral Gables. They beat Arizona. They beat Miami. They beat Arizona again. They go to Hattiesburg, and they face two potential future first-round pitchers in Hurston Waldrop and Tanner Hall. They don't allow a run. They kind of blitz their way through Omaha, right, with a win over Auburn. It's a good Auburn team. They beat Arkansas. They lose to Arkansas, and then turn around and beat Arkansas the next night. And then they're just better than Oklahoma. The moment looked a little bit big, I thought, at times for the Sooners. But Ole Miss's pitching was dominant, and they came up with big hit after big hit. So, yeah, you get a couple of runs on some mistakes there when it's all said and done. But Ole Miss made play after play after play for a month. They absolutely won this thing.
What did this run do for Dylan DeLucia's stock on the next level?
You know, that's an interesting question because he's a right-hander that throws it in, the low 90s?
Mm-hmm.
He did show – I was talking with somebody about this yesterday, and the bottom line as a pitcher, right, is still can you get outs? I mean, we get enamored with radar guns and triple digits and, upper 90s and hard sliders. But when it's all said and done, if you can get outs, you can pitch. And Dylan DeLucia has absolutely proven that he can get outs. He's done it in a variety of ways. If you'd asked me that question a month ago, I probably would have told you I think he'll come back, and I think he'll be at the front end of the rotation next year for Ole Miss. At this point, there's not a whole lot left to accomplish at the college level. So my guess is that, assuming he doesn't get drafted in the 14th round where he's going to get $1,200 in a bus ticket, then I would think that he would take a shot and see what professional baseball looks like.
Yeah, I think, I'm with you, Richard. It was amazing to see how he carved up. It felt like Omaha was just his town, and we didn't know it until after the fact.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I think 16 2/3 with 17 strikeouts and no walks over the course of two starts. And look, that was on the heels of being absolutely dominant in Hattiesburg. So the postseason for Dylan DeLucia was really, really impressive, and I thought it was incredibly deserving to see him ultimately walk out with that trophy. I was in the press box for part of the game on Saturday, and there's somebody from ESPN that had the stats information page pulled up, and he carried a perfect game into the fifth inning, I guess it was, and that was the longest perfect game bid in College World Series history since 1999 when they went to the 64-team field in the kind of the new format.
Unreal to think about. And that as well as the offense, I could not help but I was fully engrossed in the Super Regional there in Hattiesburg when I was reading tickets were going for about $1,600 a pop, something along those lines.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I mean, college baseball is such a big deal in the state of Mississippi, and I know we're only one state apart, but I think it's different in the state of Alabama and the state of Mississippi. I do think it's growing, though. I'm a huge college baseball fan outside, wanting to see Ole Miss do well. And I was thrilled to see the ratings for the College World Series were up this year. The ratings for the regionals and super regionals were up, and they set an attendance record at the College World Series. Over 390,000 people showed up for all of the games. So I felt like there was a lot of good that's happening, and I hope that the people that are in charge of college baseball, the folks at ESPN, will try to kind of ride this momentum and not throttle it back a little bit, because I think we were reminded what a great game it is. And, guys, I don't know how much it could tell coming through. I've been to a lot of sporting events. There aren't many that I've been to where the level of intensity from the fans in the stands, especially on Saturday night, was like it was in Omaha. It was really, really special. Ole Miss probably with, I don't know, I'm guessing here, but I'm going to say somewhere in the 18 to 21, 22,000 range in terms of fans. They absolutely took over Omaha.
It felt like it was about a 70-30 split. Is that fair to say?
Probably not aggressive enough, and that's not a slight at all. So both teams got an allotment of 700 tickets, and they were in the top third of three sections above whichever dugout you were in. And then after that, it was like, you'd see some pockets of fans as well. The way the Omaha community supports the College World Series, this was how I was trying to kind of figure out an attendance number. So there were 26,000 there. I figure if you say 5,000